Fellow white people, how many of you were sat down as children and talked to about the struggles of race?
Well, as the only other white person here, no.
Okay, I wasn't either, Dieter. I literally, my concept of race was very, very small-minded. So here I am the other day, flipping through the channels, I stop on this. Don't you dare judge me. It's Jeb and Jessica growing the dynasty. And what do I see? His milky family here, beautiful family. And then we have here an adopted child, a black little baby boy. What? Today is all about the potential dangers of transracial adoption, and more specifically, white parents raising a child of color.
Should be on the dangers of having a child.
Before you come at me, let me just say adoption is a beautiful thing, but let me put this into perspective. Number one, being a person of color comes with struggles that us as white people, we just don't understand. Number two, being adopted comes with struggles that us born to biological parents just don't understand. 3, being a person of color adopted by white parents comes with all that and a bag of chips. And you guys know I love chips, but that's just too much. Gosh, can someone get me some hot Cheetos? I'm not necessarily picking on this specific family. If you're familiar with Duck Dynasty, you know America loves them. They eat them up. It's America, it's God, and it's your one wife that you have missionary sex with the rest of your life. Point number 1, write it down. Love is not enough. One story that I was reading that really caught my interest was an adoptee talking about how great her adoptive parents were, how loving. She had a wonderful life, but she always felt like there was something missing. Now, this is very common within any adopted child. They're searching for their identity. As I continued to dig, I found this article that I posted to my spotter blogger page, spotrevolution.com/Carmen Renee. So I love this. It's called the Transracially Adopted Child Bill of Rights. Every child is entitled to parents who know that she or he will experience life differently than they do. She says every child is entitled to parents who know that if they are white, they benefit from racism. What?
Yes.
Let's say it again. Let's read it one more time. Every child is entitled to parents who know that if they are white, they benefit from racism. I feel like I'm in church. I need the Bible. Every child is entitled to opportunities to make friends with people of his or her own race or ethnicity. You can introduce them to, movies or books about their culture, but allowing them and finding similar people for them to relate to is something that is so key. Point number 2, write it down in stone if you have to. Be prepared to be uncomfortable. The topic of race is uncomfortable for most people. So imagine raising a child of a different race. Those uncomfortable moments are gonna happen all the time. I ran across another article which I fell in love with. It's titled, "Where Did You Get the Idea You Could Raise a Black Child?" This is the documentation of parents, 2 white parents, raising black children. The encounter that changed their lives was this. An older black woman came up to them and asked, "Where did you get the idea that you could raise a black child, raise a black man to be who he needs to be in society?" Can you imagine hearing that? First of all, why are you looking at my baby? I appreciate the fact that they were willing to share this pivotal point in their lives as well as their son's life. This woman pointed out, what are you using on his skin? What are you putting in his hair? His hair looks dry. His skin looks dry. Do you know what you're doing?
That's a harsh reality check that I think a lot of white people need to have and come to terms with. You said it's not even realizing that race is going to make such an impact on your child.
Yes.
You need to be hyper aware of it, like overly aware of every little point that's being affected in this child's life.
If you're not preparing your child for the difficult conversations that they will face day in and day out in the real world, then you are not doing your job as a parent raising a person of color.
Every minority out there has had that moment in their life where they've been sat down by their parents and had a conversation about race that's literally changed their life. And I remember having that conversation after 9/11. And I don't think white parents would have been equipped to give me that talk. They wouldn't have even thought of it.
My final point for this is it's not all about you. You are not a selfless person for adopting. Adopting is a privilege. To receive a child is a privilege.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. If you are doing this out of any type of selfish need to fill a void, to do something that pertains to your own needs, that, my friends, is money smoke. Put those adoption papers down. Go get yourself a white baby and call it a day. Pega, I cannot wait to hear from you tomorrow about being a Persian woman. Remember, guys, if you like anything about this video, make sure to subscribe. Leave me a comment below. I look forward to reading them. Until next time, cheers. She has such a good head on her shoulders, right? Obviously, that reminds me of me. And then this chickadee right here, all you haters, bye. #sips tea.